Outstanding, the ultimate accolade for teachers. We challenge secondary teacher Rebecca Wills to go from good to outstanding. A top inspector will observe one lesson. 2 experts will fine-tune her practice and beef up her presentation. She then gets 2 weeks to take on the advice before the inspector comes back for the final verdict.
The pressure on yourself is quite hard because you're thinking, will I be outstanding?
Have you tried the completely taking away your voice?
No. Where I just sort of
lip read.
Okay.
It's amazing how, when you completely take away your voice, they become very focused on you and they have to watch you and then they can give you that.
If I was to go like that, would you get them to just one person to respond or to get them all to try and then say it?
You can vary
so
it.
I can just
you can vary it. Don't be afraid to persist with it because it takes a while to get all these techniques to how you want them. Because what's going to happen with the way I'm suggesting you change your approach is it is going to become less easy to control and it's going to become messy.
With Rebecca's final observation just weeks away, it's back to the classroom to put all that advice into action and raise her game.
Okay, what I'm going to do is hopefully start giving you the objectives in German, and that will help you to think maybe through as you come in. What are we learning today? I've been trying harder, particularly with the objectives, putting those up in German, which is what Pauline encouraged me to do. So I've been trying that. Laut! 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 Musikalisch! 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 With my gestures, I was trying hard, really trying to not talk as fast as normal. Laut! Dieses Mal, ich sage zum Beispiel. Was ist das? Good. You're going to spend 5 minutes with the person you're sat with or you were working with before, describing Miss Manders and Mr. Hewitt. I think today was pretty good in terms of 80-20. I felt a little bit, this is beyond something that I'm comfortable with. But actually when I looked around the class, they were all doing the work. So that I'm becoming much more confident with now. Can somebody now think of another teacher, some of you maybe were preparing this, not one of those, another teacher who we can try and guess who it is?
Freundlich.
Ist freundlich.
Intelligent.
Good.
And
Ist groß, ist klein?
dick.
Ist dick. One girl did say to me at the end, you gave us a lot of work today, miss. And I went, good, and that was something that Pauline had picked up on. She said, actually, the kids will work harder because you're giving them more to do. Well done, you worked very well today. I know it was hard after PE.
Between lessons, Rebecca shares some MFL practice with fellow teacher Monica Dare.
When you set them off, I don't like to leave them for long because you worry that they're going to go off task, and that I know that that's more beneficial to them to be more independent, but I think that's something I'm scared of is when I'm at the front, I've got them all on task and I can control what they're doing.
It is a difficult task because you cannot be next to 15 pairs at once. So there's an amount of trust that's got to be there. It helps if you have obviously a helper in the class.
I think that's something I need to really get my confidence in, that trusting the kids to actually do the work rather than just me dictating. What I would like you to do, first of all, in your pairs or your threes, is to work out which of these headings goes with which of the paragraphs. I did get them working in pairs rather than, again, me doing everything. I tried to get them in their little pairs, going over the words they knew already, so I didn't need to teach it again. I'm going to say a heading and then I'm going to pick your group and you need to tell me what does the paragraph start with. Chris, Julia's Geburtstag.
Wie siehst du aus?
Does everybody agree?
No.
Good. Shh. Wie geht's? Yeah, because she's describing her birthday in that sentence. Now, what you're going to be doing is writing up a similar email, but this time it's going to be about you. So those of you who want to get your level 4, this is now where you extend. describing your family. Don't just say, I have a mum and a dad. You then need to describe what they're like. For the observation lesson, the ideas I've got in my head are not going to be a typical classroom lesson because I'm not going to be actually at the front all the time. They're all going to be on different activities.
With Judgment Day looming, Rebecca gets some last-minute advice from Pauline Bullen.
So what I was thinking of doing, and then this sometimes it scares me doing this sort of lesson, but I want to do a carousel lesson. So they'll do 15 minutes on a speaking activity, and then also I've got some pictures of famous people that they have to describe, and then also I want to do some computer work as well because we've got some computers at the back.
So you're not specifically pairing them up. You're going to let them.
No, what I'm going to do is give them a card as they come in with A, B, or C written on it, and then that will be their grouping.
You might want to nominate your strongest students as experts and attach an expert to
each group. So does that sound okay?
That sounds like an exciting lesson. Good luck.
No, we'll see how it goes. But,
Okay.
All right, take care.
You
Bye.
too. Bye-bye.
I want to be outstanding, and for me that would mean a lot for someone to say, genuinely, you are outstanding because of these reasons, but also the pressure on yourself is quite hard because you're thinking, will I be outstanding? Because it's been such a short amount of time, it can take years to get it in place.
The day of Rebecca's final observation has arrived.
The main thing that Claire picked up on last time, how do we engage all the students? So hopefully that is what she'll say was much improved today. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Claire Gillies is back. It's the moment of truth for Rebecca.
Back at Beale to see Rebecca with her Year 8 German. I'm really looking forward to seeing how her teaching has improved.
Okay, you're a 41. Morgan, you can sit anywhere for now. Today, what you're going to be doing is what we call a carousel lesson. So there's 3 activities. One of them is a computer-based activity. One of them is a speaking activity. And one of them is a writing-reading activity. So we're trying to cover the 4 skills. When you go to the computers, there's a website that's got online activities. When you're doing the speaking activity, I've got some famous people, some pictures, yeah, and you can describe to each other what these people look like. On the writing, there's some words in here, lots of different sentences. Using these words, you have to form different sentences. Now, you all were given a letter, yeah. That letter is your group letter. In each group, I am going to designate an expert. And that is one person who I think, if you're stuck and I'm busy, you could always ask and they might help you. So, got Ramia, Sophie and Sana, they can help if you are stuck. So first of all, can all the A's go and sit at a computer? All the B's, can you sit here? If you're a C, then go around on this section, yep.
This is... What sentence? The brother. 100% good. We don't really use computer much in German or any other languages, and it's just nice for a change, and it's nice to do interactive things, and the teacher doesn't really have to do anything.
Wouldn't it be that? That's 2. It can be... Let's try and attach these together.
Okay, so if you are a letter C, you are going to go on the computers. If you are a letter B, you are going to sit on the back rows. And if you're a letter A, you're here in the middle.
Me doing all the work, I found it easier because if Miss tells you basically everything, and then you're just writing in the answer, but if you have to find things out by yourself, you remember it more and you remember and learn a bit more.
Right, let's try 5. I'm 13. So where's the 13? 13.
Come on, boys.
Yara, where's Yara? Yara. It's not here. Yara. 13. Have you got alt? Where's alt? Yeah, there.
So you need to work out if his birthday is the 14th, when is his?
It was a different lesson because we use cards and things to make sentences instead of just like normally we don't do that. Normally we write. It was a little bit harder because we had to put all the little sentences in the middle, like and it and was and things like that, not just describing words. We had to put it in a proper sentence, full sentence. So it was a bit of a challenge.
Thank you. Right, if you are on the computers, you're moving here. If you're on the back row, you're moving there. And if you're on the middle, you're moving here. Okay, off you go.
So are you describing the teaching picture?
Yeah, she means
Right.
blonde Haare und
Have you ever tried Miss Lion thing? Yeah. That's what I was going to do.
Eine Minute.
13 years
Come on, boys, I want to see you do something in the next 1 minute, please.
In the last few weeks, I have learnt quite a lot because I didn't used to know how to say words, and now I could pronounce them at the same time.
Having spent your lesson on these activities, I want you very quickly to just, in silence, by yourself for 1 minute, to put a tick if you're confident on that, a cross if you're really still stuck, or a question mark if maybe you're getting there. And this is to give you an idea of maybe now you're going home to revise what it is you need to do to help you for next week. The things that you're really not confident on, that's the area you need to focus on now.
With all that expert advice and weeks of practice behind her, will Rebecca have made it from good to outstanding?
Rebecca, thank you very much again for letting me share that lesson, and a very different teaching style to the one I saw before.
Yeah.
Well, let's highlight some of the really sort of good things that within every group there was differentiation, wasn't there? So that it was very much up to them. I think we want to celebrate the sort of the individual progress forward, the really helpful support going on between particularly the girls and actually the 3 little boys, that they really did try and help each other and keep going. You suddenly heard a girl explaining something to her neighbour, and those magic moments when you could feel understanding and was really increasing. We've got to hang on to those because obviously at the same time we have some individuals who didn't get so much out of the lesson as others. So I think if we're honest and look back, you didn't really get them to outstanding learning in that lesson. I hope you'd feel that you they didn't learn as much as I'm sure you wanted them to learn. Now you stand back and tell me what you thought, sort of as a whole, for the whole group, how what they got out of that hour.
I mean, I think they worked hard in terms of there was plenty to keep them going. You know, like one of my weaker students, he did make effort today. I know that, he did try, and I felt he could access most of the activities. Sometimes they had too many activities maybe going on, and maybe if I'd just done one more focus activity that would have been more extended, because, some of them were just, we've done it.
Done the same,
and then
yes.
we'll move on, and maybe they hadn't really pushed themselves as hard as they could have done.
I think if we stand back and look at the whole hour, maybe the 3 sessions was quite a lot in one for a whole go, but I think we want to celebrate the sort of the individual progress forward. As you do more of this sort of style of learning, you'll work out what works best, won't you? And I'm sure that you'll be able to merge some of your other really successful teaching styles with the best of that to really get to the outstanding learning.
Achieving outstanding has made me realise it's really difficult to achieve. If I've taken anything away from it, has been moving away from me doing all the work to making the kids do the work, and that is the one thing I'm really grateful for. I think for me it's learning the balance now, that I had a lot of strengths in my old style that I find easy to do, so actually incorporate everything together, and then maybe I might be outstanding for the duration of the lesson.